Okay, so it's telling me that I'm live, and I hope I get that glare out of here. Maybe I'll have to turn get that window out of here. Okay, so today is April the 24th, 2020, and I just want to talk about. I always say I want to put my 2 cents in on stuff, right? This was really just for my therapy. Whether you agree with me or don't, it's fine. That's neither here or there to me. But I just want to throw something out that I hope people at least think about. You may not agree. Most people don't, I imagine. But I just want to say this about the coronavirus. So you ready? Because here we go. When this thing first came out, they were talking, millions and millions of people were going to die, right? Worldwide, millions and millions of people. They estimated that in the United States, somewhere between 1 and 2 point whatever million was going to die when this first came out. So I do understand the initial reaction, the knee-jerk reaction. To completely get that. I do agree that in the future, we're way better. What we've learned during this coronavirus, the COVID-19 is going to make this country and other countries a much safer place during these pandemics, right? By shutting down our borders and all this and that. And people that, what gets me is if you're for open borders, like in our southern border, just as much as our northern border, you got to have borders, right? I mean, that's in crossings and people doing everything legal. If you're doing it illegal, you're criminal. So anyway, with all that said, because that's not what the video is about, but we do have to have borders, and we have to know who's coming in and going out of our country. But shutting down the borders to China originally, and then it went to other countries, it really helped. Now everybody says, well, we should have done it earlier. Hindsight's 2020, and buddy, if you ever did anything and you were critiqued for it, and you couldn't find a way of doing it better, I guarantee you 100%. Somebody, if you did something, I don't care what it is, somebody could come back and say, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. And so that's just in one ear and out the other. And if you hold on and grasp on that like the media does, God bless you. You're a Trump hater, or you got Trump derangement syndrome. Because if you look at it, Pelosi wanted to go down to Chinatown and say, hey, come on down. So it was all just, and these people wanted to impeach him, that they knew about the coronavirus during the State of the Union. And the point I'm trying to make is this, don't throw the first stone. Don't throw the first stone. If you're just as complicit in it as everybody else. It amazes me that our country doesn't work as a team, that they're so polarized, right? That, Democrats hate Republicans, and Republicans hate Democrats. I'm an American, and I'm an independent voter, and I know who I like and who I don't like. And I can tell you this, I will never vote for a Democrat ever in my life again unless they prove to me that they are for this country. Absolutely, they will destroy this country. And if they haven't already, I believe the country's already too far gone. If Trump doesn't get reelected back in, it's gone. It's over. It'll never be the America that you personally know. It'll be completely different, completely. And but anyway, just by talking about me being an independent, I used to be a Democrat, vote straight Democrat ticket most of my life, a big portion of my life. I quit doing that when Ross Perot got cheated out of. I learned back then that how politics were and how our politicians are. If us as Americans don't demand term limits for Congress, we deserve everything that we get and more. If we can't demand that and get it, term limits, and we ought to put up, the American people ought to decide what we pay our Congress people, not our Congress people deciding what they're going to pay themselves. I blame Americans. I blame myself just as much as I blame everyone else, but we're all idiots. We're all idiots. We're stupid. We're dumb. We're the most. We really have screwed ourselves. Really have screwed ourselves by letting our politicians, which are absolutely corrupt criminals, dictate, and they rule us. They serve us. They are no more than a meter maid, point blank. They're no more than a meter maid. And I hold meter maids at high standards. But the point of it is, a congressman, the president of the United States, is a servant. They have no more, even though I know they're their power and they're the most powerful person in the world. But when we elect them to do the job for us, they don't. That we hold the power as the people of this country, but we just let it. People don't even care about politics. People just let it go on, and it just doesn't matter. They get mad when you talk bad about Democrats or Republicans because that's their goal. But they couldn't tell you the first damn thing about a politician. But you go ask them your favorite politician, and you start asking, they couldn't tell you nothing about it. Now they can tell you about their football player and stuff like that. But when it comes to people that's actually making changes and doing things for this country, they couldn't tell you nothing about them unless they're into politics, and that's very few. So I blame us all. I blame us all for this, and we're going down for it. Don't make no mistake. They will destroy this country, and there's nothing you can do about it to this point. This country's gone. Just get used to it. And we're going to go into a social country because this is the thing. If you look at the numbers, most people, and I don't know the exact numbers, you look it up. It's good for you to check me out, and I want you to. But most people, in number-wise, identify as an independent, right? Because they're sick and tired of the Democrats and Republicans. So they identify. They're not registered, but they identify as independent. But most people, and there's reasons, and it's all immigration. Immigration, and it's not just from Mexican, but it's if you look at them, how many Muslims are coming into this country? Now, let me just get one thing straight. I think the religion of Muslims is a good religion. I personally don't. I'm not a Muslim. I'm a Christian. But the point of it is this: I don't hold anything against the Muslim religion, except for a few things, and I do that with Mormons and everything else. There's just a few things I think is quirky. But all religions have things that's you might not agree with. But the point of it is, the Muslims will defeat, and I'm just throwing this. This is April the 24th, 2020. The Muslims will take over this country in the next 20 years, and we will live under a Muslim Sharia law. Just you're not going to stop it. There ain't nothing you can do. You didn't do it in the past, and you won't do it now. So that's what I predict that's going to happen, is that we're going to live under Sharia law. And because the Muslims will take over, just all there is to it. You can't stop it. I'm challenging you if you can. Good luck. I don't think you got it in you. So anyway, when it comes to this coronavirus, they thought in the beginning a lot of people are going to die. But yet now you're looking at the data. We're not talking about my opinion. We're talking about data. This thing's got less than a 1% kill rate. That's same damn thing as the flu. And people shut down the country and destroyed everybody's living and all this and that over something that killed 50, 60,000 people right now. I think it's 40 some thousand. Now that's a loss, and no one wants to hear that. But this is the thing. If no one was even told about the coronavirus, they would think it was just the flu that killed everybody. And this is another thing. There's videos out there. This is well documented. I mean, you can find it. If somebody comes in with third-degree burns and it died, got in a fire and burnt for, they're crisp, and they bring them in, they're nothing but ash, and they test them and they have coronavirus, guess what they label them as? Like coronavirus. If somebody gets killed in a car wreck and they're just, decapitated, and they come in and they check them for coronavirus and they have the coronavirus, their death certificate says they died of coronavirus. That is just completely asinine. If, as Americans, we should demand that people get, we know exactly what this virus is doing. If we're going to destroy our country, we need to know the facts. So this country's gone. It's over. And thank you, Democrats. You did it. Whoever voted Pelosi in and Schumer in, and Nadler in and all that. Whoever did that, you destroyed our country. You take direct blame for it, because that's exactly what's going on. These people are destroying this country. They hate Trump so much, and it ain't so much Trump. They didn't care who it was. It could have been Mary Poppins that got in there if it was on the Republican side, and they would have done the same exact thing. It was planned out. All of this is coming out. It hasn't came out yet. It really has came out. But what gets me is the country is set up hell bent on this political thing. Democrats and Republicans, they can't stand each other, and the Democrats have gotten themselves in a position where they control, even if they're a minority, they control, right? And in judges and stuff like that, which that's soon changing. But anyway, it's too late. But what's happening is you're going to find out here, whenever in the future, that exactly what happened. That these Democrats have went out and done the Russia investigation, all this other stuff, that trying to get rid of Trump, that they destroy the country. They, instead of working and making this a great country and all that, history is going to judge it. Now, and if I'm 100% wrong, that's my little mind not working right. But I think we're going to find out that it's that the Democrats really destroyed our country, and whoever voted them in, you're right along on the boat. So that's my 2 cents. The coronavirus is not a deadly virus. If you looked at the data, they've tested 800, almost 900,000 people, and 40,000 people have died from it. And those numbers are loaded and packed. They're not even true, and that's the problem. It's probably one person, maybe. You never know. If they lie to you once, then they lie to you. You can't believe anything they tell you. So you need to demand the exact numbers. And I'm going to tell you something. If you don't demand term limits, then it's done. It's over. They beat the politicians have beat the American people. Now they've gotten rich. If you ever look, there is in Congress 90%, and I think it's 99% of them are millionaires. Go look it up. They're all millionaires. What kind of, they say, well, we want the greatest minds in there. Yet the greatest minds have bankrupted this country. The greatest of this is bankrupt, killed this country. So you don't want the greatest minds. You just don't want them. They're lawyers and liars, lawyers. If you watch Jim Carrey, you know what I'm talking about. But the point of it is this. I love this country. I see it going down big time. I don't see it coming back. I really don't. People will forget this, because what we're going through right now with this coronavirus lockdown is socialism and communism. They're arresting people for taking walks in a park by themselves. They can be in a park, 1 billion acres, and if they're on that park, they get arrested, or at least they get a citation or a ticket. So it's ignorant. It's just absolutely, this is ignorant. And if you go along with it, I'm calling you ignorant. That's all there is to it. And I may be the ignorant one. I may be the guy at the end that just shown to be all wrong. But the point I'm trying to tell you is this: you've lost your country. And if you go along with this, God bless you. My thing of it is this: if you went out into the public and caught coronavirus and you died, and I went out and I died, I caught it and I died, and my neighbor goes, everybody that goes out, they die. Everybody die. Everybody's died. It's not the way it's. We're old people with weak immune systems, people with underlying conditions, and I have them. I mean, I'm diabetic, overweight, and high blood pressure. So if I catch it, and I think I've already had it, I had got a cold back in November that I couldn't explain because the way it was acting and everything. And they just said I had an acute head cold. Yeah, sent me home with antibiotics, and I got better, right? But I have been out in the public doing everything up until they shut the place down, and I didn't catch it again. So that was either coronavirus, or I was just a lucky son of a gun and didn't catch it again. But the point of it is this: it's not a deadly virus. People that catch it just don't die. There's reasons why, right? and we've destroyed our country for it. And people have fallen in line with this, and I hate it. I really do. I just hate it. And it all goes back to the root of the evil, our politicians, right? That's the root of all evil. They have really scared people over this. And like I said in the very beginning, there had to be people. And as Dr. Burke and Fauci, I'm really surprised that, some people say that this was put out onto the public, into the world. So it's not even, some people claim that this was like setting off a nuclear bomb. It was intended. But we'll find out in the future if that's happened. If it has, then the powers to be will be corrected, I hope. Probably not. Democrats get by with anything. They can rape a 3-year-old on a playground and have 50 million witnesses and get by with it, and blame that a Republican spits on the ground and they end up getting crucified for it. So just watch that. Just watch how the news bashes Trump, and then if you bashed Obama back in the day, they fired you and everything. It's double standard, and I'm sick of it. American people see it. I do. I know everybody. Everyone I know sees it. That it's double standard and all this and that. And, people don't care. People don't care what our politicians do, and I blame us all. I just blame Americans. So congratulations, you lost your country, and our grandkids will pay for our ignorance. That's all I can tell you. If we don't take it, people get to where they don't even care, and then their lazy ass somebody's going to have to go up and die for their lazy ass is what the problem is. They're going to have to, this all has to get corrected by people that don't have a dog in the fight at this moment. The people that can make the biggest change do the least, and that's the problem. People just content just going, they don't even think about what our politicians are doing. But yet, if you tell somebody, the United States has a $24 trillion deficit, they have no comprehensive, they don't have no idea what that means to them. None. They just think, okay. They don't, but that's how but they don't care. They just really don't. As long as they get by their little lives, as long as their little lives get going, that's all that matters. Okay, so I've ranted on this a little bit more, and I'm going to do this probably every day or so, and just put in my 2 cents and rant and rave. And the only people that'll watch this will be myself, I'm sure, and that's perfectly fine. I call it my therapy time. So, but the point of it is, coronavirus isn't as deadly as what they told us in the beginning. It's not even. It's a little bit worse than the flu. It is a highly people. At least that's what they tell us, that it's twice as infectious that gets transferred wise than the flu. But if somebody dies, that we have 30,000 to 80,000 people die every year of the flu, and that's with a vaccine. But mitigation, they say, well, that's what saved us right here. Mitigate. No, it's definitely helped. Washing your hands, coughing to your elbow, don't touch your face. Keep your social distancing, quarantine as much as possible. That all works. But if that's how you want to live, go knock yourself out. I mean, washing your hands, coughing your thing, all that's good. But, if you want to stay away from family members for months and years at a time, just so whatever, if that's the life you want. I mean, So anyway, I'm going to break this off. This is where we're at. So I'm going to shut off my live stream. See you later. That was my 2 cents.